Today is the day that the football returns, finally. These were a very long 2 days, in my opinion. But we do have a little bit to catch up on all the same. So, of course, the football returns. Hurrah! Let's celebrate. Two big matches coming up today. The bigger one later this evening, Argentina versus Netherlands. Messi or Van Gaal to end their international career after today. Yeah, more than likely, I would guess. Enrique has left Spain as well, so we speculated for a while that he could be leaving, and it's been confirmed that he has left the Spanish setup. Speculation in France that Harry Maguire is the weak link for England. Well, I think a few people could have told you that, but let's just have a quick look at what they're saying, and then of course a few more transfer rumors just to keep us moving and get us back into the football mood. All right, so the first thing up is that the football returns. So the first match up today we have Croatia versus Brazil, of course. And Croatia are apparently terrified of Brazil. That's what we're hearing in the media. Just reading it this morning from the coach, the Croatia coach, Zlato Dalic. What I've seen so far, when you take a look at their players, their quality, skills, and value, then it is indeed terrifying. We need to enter the match with much faith, self-confidence, and look for our chances. Enjoy the occasion of playing Brazil. That's it. Well, I guess, yes, enjoy the occasion of playing Brazil. It'll be a lot more enjoyable if they win. Of course, they have the key man, Luka Modric, who has driven them this far. It's not a one-man show, but he's been their main playmaker, and he's been very, very good for them. So they'll obviously look towards him. Croatian fullback Josip Jurnovic, if I've said that correctly. When you see people like Luka Modric running and dying on the pitch, it gives us younger players extra energy to run, and that's exactly what they need, and they'll be looking towards that. In much the same way that the Argentinian players will be looking towards Messi as well to do something similar for them. So it promises to be a very good matchup. We're not getting through too much team news just yet on that match. It sounds like everybody is fit for this. Obviously, Brazil have a few injuries that we're aware of that they wouldn't be back, such as Gabriel Jesus. But Neymar is fit and ready to play. So I think he's the key man as far as Brazil are concerned. So it promises to be a very intriguing match. I would hand the favour slightly to Brazil still, but you'd never know. You just never know. Maybe the best Brazil of the tournament turned up at the last match, and that they'll have a hangover from that match of this one. Next up, we have Messi or Louis van Gaal. So is one of them going into international retirement today? Well, it remains to be seen, but the matchup comes later this evening between both of them. Messi is 35, and yeah, of course, he carries the hopes of the Argentinian nation on his shoulder. This is the one big title that has eluded him so far in his career. Van Gaal is 71. Now, he's obviously not playing, he's managing. He's just recovered from prostate cancer earlier this year, and he's already announced that he will be stepping down at the end of this tournament. So it could very easily be his last match. Messi being 35 as well, you would expect that he's going to retire from the Argentinian setup. Again, I believe he actually retired previously. Yeah, so that's Louis van Gaal is a three-time runner-up, apparently. I don't know if that's true or not. Could that be true? I know it's certainly one. I remember one time, but I don't know about three time. That's interesting. I need to look into that a little bit later on. Van Gaal said, "We can surprise teams with our plan. We were also the better team then, and Messi didn't see much of the ball." So he was talking about the previous time that they met. That was the 2014 semi-final defeat, actually. Yeah, they were the better team, but I think it was Argentina came out on top in that on that occasion, wasn't it? Or am I getting mixed up with the 2018? You know what? I really need to take a look at these stats because they've piqued my interest at this stage. Either way, it promises to be a very, very intriguing match. The mind games, as well as we were mentioning yesterday, have already well and truly kicked off. The latest we're hearing now is that Angel Di Maria, of course, he played for Louis van Gaal at Manchester United for one horrible season. So he's described Van Gaal as the worst coach of his career. And Van Gaal has responded to that. I don't like it that Angel said that, and it's a pity. But sometimes a head coach has to take decisions that don't end well. He, being Di Maria, is one of the very few players who ever said that. Normally it's the other way around, said Van Gaal, before suggesting that he and Depay were now close enough that he would happily give the forward a kiss. It's a very random detail to throw into the story, but yeah, Van Gaal is a passionate guy. Di Maria is he's actually just back from an injury, so I think he had was it an ankle injury? So he's just returning from that because it was a quadriceps issue, actually, just reading here. And Rodrigo de Paul is still being assessed, so not confirmed if he'll be back for the match. Netherlands apparently have a fully fit squad, so that's good news for them. Luis Enrique has left I was about to say the French team. No, the Spanish team. So he's left his role after Spain were knocked out of the World Cup by Morocco in the last 16. Enrique is 52 years old. He took charge in 2018. And I guess his biggest achievement so far was taking Spain to the Euro 2020 semi-final, where they lost to Italy, unfortunately. But as we know, Italy went on then to win that tournament, beating good old England in the final on penalty shootout, actually. The Spanish Football Federation said, we would like to thank Luis Enrique and his entire coaching staff. So Spain entered the World Cup. They beat Costa Rica 7-0. Then they were accused of playing boring football because of the possession-based game that they were playing. But, that's what you get. They had very high possession, lots of passing, everything else. They subsequently drew 1-1 with Germany and lost 2-1 to Japan. And then, as we know, they went on to play that very dull affair with Morocco that ended in a 0-0 draw in the last 16, which went to a penalty shootout where Spain could not score a single penalty. Can you believe it? Spain just didn't hit the net once in that entire match. So 120 minutes without a goal, and then through 3 penalties, I guess. Was it 3 or 4 they took? It was at least 3, and they couldn't score any of them. I think 2012 was the last time Spain won something, the European Cup in 2012. And they have not progressed past the last 16 at the World Cup since their triumph in 2010. So they're not on a good run, believe it or not. Not on a good run at all. So that's Enrique leaving. Next up, L'Equipe in France said that Harry Kane, the England centre-back's pace, could prove detrimental to England's rearguard, especially against their speedsters. They're talking about Dembele and, of course, Mbappe. Who could forget Mbappe? They're very clearly targeting Maguire, trying to get inside his head ahead of this match. Is he the weak link? He's potentially the weak link. It's very hard to know. The England setup does seem to suit Maguire very much, especially if they do a 5-man defence, which I expect that they probably will pull out later tomorrow against the French team. We don't have really any team news yet on that point. But the Manchester United setup didn't suit Harry Maguire. I think that part is clear, but he hasn't played very often for Manchester United this season, so it is hard to say where his form is at the moment. On the basis that he hasn't played a lot of matches, you would imagine that his form isn't all that it should be. But anyway, clearly the French team will target him, but it is a scary thought, Harry Maguire versus Kylian Mbappe. Dembele, I wouldn't worry about too much because Dembele can get past him, but Dembele isn't even going to hit the target probably. Now, queue up a Dembele hat-trick tomorrow, but that's what always happens. It's actually Calvin Phillips who has jumped to Harry Maguire's defence. No pun intended. He's a top professional and great footballer when he plays for Manchester United. He's one of the best defenders. Yeah, well, when being the key word there, because he doesn't play for them that much anymore. And I actually would argue that he's not a key defender or one of the best defenders when he does play for Manchester United. For England, he's been one of the top defenders for a long time, especially at tournaments. Yeah, well, actually, you can't argue with that. He has been one of the top defenders in the English team. So long may that continue. He'll have a big test tomorrow, that's for certain. Okay, let's finish off with a few transfer rumors before wrapping up for today. At least tomorrow, we're going to have some very exciting football to talk about after high scoring affairs in both of the matches. Um, if you want my predictions, and I've always said this, they mean absolutely nothing. I think Brazil will beat Croatia within the 90 minutes, probably 1-0, maybe 2-1 or something like that. I actually don't see a lot of goals in that match. And Argentina and Netherlands, I think it's going to be a draw after 90 minutes. Now, it could be a scoring draw. It could be 1-1, could be 2-2. But that one has extra time written all over it as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, yeah. But I'm really looking forward to the later match. I'm just hoping that the Brazilian-Croatian match will be exciting as well. It's always good to watch Brazil play, though. And this Croatian team ain't bad. And maybe this is the last time we'll see Luka Modric as well play for Croatia. Didn't think of that, just hit me now. Transfers. Jude Bellingham will tell Borussia Dortmund that he wants to leave the club once he returns from the World Cup. And you know, he could be returning next week, depending on how England's match goes tomorrow against France. He's apparently preferring, well, his father is preferring Liverpool instead of Real Madrid or Man City. I think, Jude, you should just come to Manchester United, but, you know, you won't, probably. You won't. Um, what else do we have? Maurizio Pochettino has admitted that whilst he resisted the urge to try and sign Harry Kane whilst at PSG due to his love for Tottenham, he did not rule out a move at his next club. Oh, well, who is his next club going to be? Because he has been out of management for a little while. I know there were rumours he could have had the Manchester United job, but Ten Hag took that. So that could have resulted in Harry Kane ending up at Manchester United. I actually think that would be a worse slap in the face for Tottenham for him to end up at a Premier League rival. But anyhow, so Kane won't be joining PSG. The club president yesterday, Nasser Al Khalifi, he was doing plenty of talking to the media. He was talking to Sky Sports, and he revealed that he'd be interested in signing Marcus Rashford from Manchester United, having had talks with him in the past. I think the chances of this happening are between slim and none. It's great for Rashford. It's great for his team because he'll get a bumper new contract as a result of that. But I really don't see Rashford going to PSG in the near term. He's running down his contract at the moment. I think Man United have an option for one additional year on him as well. I'd be surprised. Speaking of Man United, they've lined up a move for the Swiss goalkeeper Jan Sommer. He plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach at the moment, and he's out of contract at the end of the season, so they think they could get him quite cheap. I don't think he's going to be a replacement for David De Gea, by the way. I think he'll probably be a new number 2 potentially at the Man United team, but you know, you could prove me wrong. Real Madrid are going to sell, well, no, not going to, they could sell Ferland Mendy in order to fund a move for Leipzig's Josko Gvardiol. I'm so bad at pronouncing that name. Gvardiol. Chelsea are apparently also interested in him. But find me a player that Chelsea aren't interested in, and I will show you a flying pig. Chelsea remain in the race to sign Rafael Leao, who has been told by AC Milan to sign a new contract that's on the table or leave. Sign it or get the hell out of here, basically. And Barcelona will demand a €2 million transfer fee in order to sell Memphis Depay to Roma in January. Okay, so he might be going to Roma now. There's a lot of rumours about all the potential teams that he's going to, including that he could be coming to Manchester United. Real Madrid are interested in Alejandro Garnacho, who was apparently born in the Spanish capital. Is a weird detail to add in there. That not that that should have too much of an influence. Yeah, no, I think Man United would want to keep a hold of him. And Real Madrid are also keeping tabs on Cody Gakpo from PSV. We'll see how he does later today in the big matchup as well. If he gets another goal, I think his price is going to go through the roof. And they're also looking at Milan's Leao, and they're unlikely to make any major moves in January. Well, that's good for the other clubs looking at Gakpo, I guess. That's it for now. I think that covers all of the main transfer rumors that we have as well. As ever, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your support. Please like the video as well, just to help us out. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do feel free to do so. It's free and it helps everybody. Thank you very much. Enjoy the football later today, and I'll speak to you soon.